Hello students, this is Ujjwala Bhandiwad, lecturer from KLS Gokte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belagavi. In the last class, we have completed the control statements in the C++ chapter is over. Now we are going to begin a new chapter which is small one, that is object oriented concepts. Okay. What is object oriented programming? It is actually one concept, okay, where we combine the data and functions, okay, into a single unit. Means data, the functions which will going to operate on that data, okay, we combine them into single unit, that we call it as object, okay. Basically in programming we have two approaches, okay. One is top down approach, another is bottom up approach. Before I teach that, let us now understand what is structured programming, okay. Structured programming means it is a one methodology which improves, okay, clarity, quality and development time of the computer program by making use of constructs like if, else, then and repetitions. You have already learnt about the repetition. We do it with the help of while, do while as well as for statements, okay. So just now I told that there are two approaches will be there, top down design and bottom up design. Top down means what? It is one approach where the given problem is divided into sub problems and then the solution can be found to the smaller units, okay. Then in case of bottom up, it is exactly opposite. What we do is first solution to the smaller modules we will combine together and then we will make that after combining whatever the solution we get, it will be for the overall program, okay. So these are actually two approaches, okay, you should know. One is top down approach, another is bottom up approach. To understand object oriented programming approach, okay, first we have to understand its characters, okay. As I have told that object means what, class means what, okay. Now let me just recall what is object is. It is one entity with some characteristics, and class means what, a group of objects having the same properties or they will be having same relationship, okay. Let us now understand what it means. Basically, the object-oriented programming characteristics are classified into 7 categories. They are: first is modularity, abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, then data binding, message passing. So, all of these are characteristics of object-oriented programming. Okay. Now let us understand each one of them in brief. First one is actually modularity. Module means what? It is a self-contained unit that can be tested and executed independently. Okay. So modularity means what? It is actually technique to divide the given complex problem into number of independent program segments. See, for example, suppose I take the mobile phone. Okay, it has a features like camera to take the pictures, memory to store the data, FM to listen to the music. Okay, you will have a different features, yes or no? Then in that case, all these units are independent, they are working, but they have been placed inside one box that we call it as mobile. Okay, so hence all of them are independent module. Okay. Now comes next characteristic is abstraction. What do you mean by abstraction? It is an act which represents essential features of the entity without including the background details. See here students, we are going to sometimes represent some information without knowing its background detail. Take an example of mobile only. What we do, we use Bluetooth, we use camera, but we will not be knowing how the Bluetooth works, how the camera works, or we send the SMS from one person to one person. We will be not knowing from which tower to which tower it reaches and then how it transferred into the mobile. We are not bothered about all these things, but still we are using that characteristic. We call it as abstraction. Okay. Then third characteristic is data encapsulation. Data encapsulation means what? We wrap the data and function into single unit, and that is called as encapsulation. Okay. Here once we wrap means what? We bind the data with function, then that data is not accessible to outside world. Okay. Only the function associated with it can able to access it. Next comes inheritance. You already know inheritance means what? It is a process where object of one class will acquire the properties of another class. Okay. Just give you one general example. For example, the child inherit the characteristics from its parents, whether father or a mother, grandfather, grandmother. Okay. It inherit the characteristics. Same concept is used here. What they are telling, one object which you have created will get the characteristics from another class. See, for example, here what we have taken, suppose I take a student as a base class. Okay. Then I create two more objects, PU student, MBA student. See, student means it should have some characteristics like roll, register number, name. These are the characteristic of a student. Then whether it is a PU student, whether it is a MBA student, okay, the register name, number as well as the name will remain as the same characteristics. Along with that, you have additional qualities like marks and subject for a PU student, and for the MBA student you have a grade. Okay. So this quality we call it as inheritance. Okay. Then next quality is polymorphism. It means that single function will be able to perform the many different tasks. For example, okay, suppose I have paint. Okay, paint is one function. What type of paint you are doing, whether you are doing house paint, college you are painting, on a fabric you are painting, on a furniture you are painting, all these are different types of paint. Okay, so this quality we call it as polymorphism. Okay. Then comes dynamic binding, means that when you link the procedure call with the program code, I repeat, when you link the procedure call with the program link, then it is called dynamic binding. And the last quality is you are having message passing, means the message invokes the procedure in receiving objects to generate the desired output. See, in C++ all of you have seen it. Okay, I need not have to explain it once again. For example, suppose I take college as an object and marks as a message, then in the bracket function, no, it is, so I have taken in the bracket result as a information. So in this way every message will be invoked to generate the desired or a required output. Okay. See, this object-oriented programming has a various benefits, or you can say advantages. What are the advantages? It is important, students. All the characteristics are for 5 marks and benefits also for 5 marks. Okay, first one is advantages. It supports the code reusability. Code means whatever the program you have written, that you can reuse it, okay, with certain modification. That is called code reusability. Then data hiding helps to build the secure programs, means we know that data cannot be accessed outside of the world, which will help us to make the secure programs. Then our work can be easily divided among the different people. Means what? If suppose only one problem is there and n number of people trying to solve it, it is not possible. Instead, divide the problem into small parts, give the small part to the individual people, they will solve the solution to individual part, and then we can combine to get the one solution. Okay. Then comes OOPS is upgraded from small to large system, and also it is the complexity of the software is easily tested and maintained. Okay. So these are the advantages. Student, it is important for 5 marks. Okay. Disadvantages or limitations, you can say. First thing is, to understand the object oriented programming, you should have some special skills like design skills, programming skills are required to understand it. Second thing is, proper planning and design is required. Okay. Then application means what? Where it is used in artificial intelligence and expert system, office automation system, CAD/CAM systems, and simulation and modeling. So these are the areas where object oriented programming is being used. Okay. Finally students, let us understand this entire small chapter it is with few questions. First question is, define top down approach and bottom up design. Second question, describe in detail various characteristics of OOP. Student, this is a 5 mark question, so you have to prepare it. All the 7 characteristics you have to explain with a given example. Okay. Then mention advantages and disadvantages of OOP. Again, it is a 5 mark question, prepare it. Then mention various benefits of OOP. It is the same advantages only. Differentiate between structured and object oriented programming. Okay. So students, here this small chapter object oriented programming is completed. So again we will meet in the next chapter with a different topic. Thank you.